So let's talk about e-begging or begging on YouTube. I've been on YouTube a very long time. I've seen a lot of crazy things. I have seen people get entire campers bought for them. I mean, literally, I've seen people hand them $5,000. I've seen other people get computers, cameras. Um, I've even seen people hand them up to $10,000, and I'm not kidding. Now, you have to imagine when you're sitting back and you're watching these videos or you're seeing live hangouts, and all of a sudden you see some guy clip 5 grand, you're like sitting there going, oh my God. And then you immediately think in your head, well, maybe I could do that. So this process starts basically. And I've noticed there's like a magic number. It's literally that a lot of people will start a YouTube channel with the idea of begging. That's it. And how they started is what they'll do is they'll join Hangouts and try to be friends with people in a certain community, like a prepper community, like the van community, whatever community they want to work on. And then they'll act like they're your best buddy. They'll join you in Hangouts, and the next thing you know, as soon as they hit 1,000 subscribers, I've always noticed it's usually around 1,000. That's when the video comes out. Whoa, woe is me, something happened. And I'm just like, amazing. Now, it would be fine if people didn't fall for this, if people weren't so stupid. But the sad part is, like they say, a sucker is born every minute, and I doubt very much it's ever going to come to an end. I mean, you take a beggar on a street corner, if people are giving him money and he's making $100 a day or whatnot, he's not going to leave, he's going to stay in the same corner. And if all of a sudden he's not making any money on that corner, you know, after a little while he's going to say, well, it's time to move on. He's going to go find a different corner, some corner that actually produces more money. In a way, it's kind of like a business. You know, supply and demand. I'm not going to sell my cameras in one country if they're not buying compared to another country if they are. Well, begging is no difference. Now, YouTube is dangerous when it comes to begging. You got me here, right? We feel like we're one-on-one. So, it becomes more personal. And if somehow I've created the attachment of friendship with you and you believe I'm your friend, you want to help me. And it's sad, but they use that against you. And so many people fall for it. I've seen people run Hangouts in van communities, and I can't use names, that will say, I need to make $500 or I'm shutting off my live Hangout. Well, shut it off. But believe it or not, I've seen people tip. And literally they tip to $500. And the person's straight up about it. I need to make $500 or I'm shutting off or I'm not talking to you guys. I mean, they really get to the point where they think they're some type of superstar or something. I don't know. But the people themselves are just as guilty. They're feeding it. So they're just as guilty themselves. If you didn't feed the bum in the corner, he's going to go to a different corner. You know, it's just the way life is. Now, when YouTube started, you had AdSense. Everybody wanted to get to the point of AdSense. You don't make very much on AdSense. It's pennies on a dollar. You really takes a lot of views. So then came Patreon, and a lot of people just fumbled with Patreon. They really did. I tried Patreon on another account, and I had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 people pay me, and I did refund them, and then I got rid of Patreon. But I found Patreon was sending me emails to teach me how to beg. I mean, literally, Patreon was telling me, go get some family members to pay you, and then it will help generate other people to pay you. Kind of like seed money. The other thing I didn't like about Patreon, and I've seen lots of videos on this, where Patreon has no strike rule. You know, YouTube gives you 3 strikes, then you're out. I mean, with YouTube, you have a chance to clean up your act if you do something bad, or maybe you didn't realize it. I mean, you have a chance of keeping your channel. But with Patreon, they bring down the hammer, you're gone. There's no 3 strikes, there's no nothing with Patreon. It's whatever that guy feels like doing. And that's just crazy. And I can't believe how people gravitate towards stuff like that, because Patreon, okay, Patreon takes your money on a subscription base, like a monthly deal, and then Patreon will pay you and take a percentage. So that's how Patreon makes its money. Well, PayPal also takes a percentage. So literally, you're just having money taken out of you every which way, sideways here. You go to a bank machine, run your card, you get more money taken out of you. I mean, it's just, everybody's going down the road here taking money from you. Where PayPal does allow you to run a subscription base, and you could get rid of Patreon altogether. And Patreon really is just a place to put an unlisted video. You're still putting it on YouTube. I'm really surprised YouTube even allows Patreon. Because literally you make an unlisted video, you put the link in Patreon, and whoever those people are watching you, now they get to see it, an unlisted video. Some people run Patreons and say, well, you get to see my video first. Other people have to wait a day. And believe it or not, people pay. People are like, I got to see it before you. And I'm just like, the people that are paying, they're feeding this. They really are. So when you get upset because you see somebody e-begging or you see somebody begging for money, don't get upset. The people that are paying the money are the one that's feeding this. I mean, I've got around my house, a couple of years ago, my wife started feeding stray cats and helping them out. And she got involved with some type of place that helps with the spading. I mean, it cost me like, I think 10 bucks. I got to buy the pain medicine. But she'll catch a cat in a cage, and then she'll take it down to the vet, and they'll spade it, and she'll release it, and then she's out there feeding this cat. Well, at first we had one cat. I think now we've got like, I don't know, 10 or 15 cats running around she's feeding. Cat food's starting to get expensive. Cats are beggars, you know. But that is what it is, and it's a fact. If people are paying these people that are begging, and other people are watching, I mean, if you see a guy get $5,000 in the back of your head, you're going to be like, I'm going to do that. Wow. You know, and they'll come up with all kinds of reasons to convince you. I mean, you'll see everything from medical to, hey, I need, you know, breathing apparatuses. I need this. I need that. To be quite honest with you, you're being scammed. Okay? And I'm sure you have people in your own town, your own city that need help. And really, the way it should work, I don't know why people have forgotten this. The way it should work is your family should come first. And if they're all doing super well, then great. Then you should help your neighbors. And if they're all doing so well, then you branch out, maybe go to the power company. Hey, does anybody got a power bill here that hasn't been paid? Or they're at risk of losing their electricity? You can pay it anonymously and you can leave. Now, YouTube brought out live hangouts, and I've seen that. I've seen a lot of people screaming, oh, I wish I could get the live hangouts going. They want the live hangouts because they get the dollar sign. So people, and they want the AdSense to go with it, because you need, 1,000 subs. That's the magic number. You need that 1,000 subs to start begging. YouTube has turned into begging a lot. I mean, everywhere I look, they're either demanding or it's just ridiculous the level they're going. I tried a donation thing on PayPal on some of on this channel just to see what would happen. I actually had one person donate. They actually sent me 10 bucks. I refunded it to them. And then I took it off my videos. I was just curious if people would use it. A lot of times I test things on YouTube just to see what would happen. And I'm so amazed at how freely people give their money. Now, people will say, well, they enjoyed your content. Well, that's great. I mean, I have AdSense turned on. Google sends me a check every month. That's great. Extra money to go in the gas tank or whatever. Okay, fine. But, I'm not trying to make a living here off YouTube. It's just nice that this extra money comes in. You get some extra camera equipment and you get to have some fun with your hobby. But some of these people take this really serious. They really believe it's everybody else's life to pay them. And it's not. I've even seen people in the side chats when they're running live hangouts, and I'll sit there and I'll watch, and the person will state they're on disability and they only make $625 a month. and they'll say they're low on food, but they could eat noodles for a week. So they donate $10 to this person. They say, I've given you $10 though, but I can eat noodles this week. And when the person actually says to them, when they're on a live feed, oh, thank you so much for the donation, thank you much, and they go up and down, this person just said they're going to be eating noodles all week. I mean, you should know right there it's a hustle. I mean, it's ridiculous. Even when you look at these people on cam, they'll be sitting back, beautiful backgrounds, fancy toys, or they're dressed fancy, I mean, fancy clothes. They're not hurting for money. Just take a look around their background. And yet this poor woman dated $10 when she's going to eat noodles all week because this person asked. I really think that some people, when you ask people for money, there are just some people that just can't say no. And that is sad because you got a lot of people on YouTube that are just taking advantage of them left, right, and center. I usually unsubscribe to these people. I mean, as soon as I see them say, hey, I need money for this or I need money for that, I just think, here we go, here goes another one. And that's what I see all the time. And really, it's very much like, a feeding frenzy when they see somebody that tips a large amount of money, and all of a sudden, the scammers are in the background like, oh, I got to meet that guy. Look at what he just did. And they do make it their mission to meet that guy, or girl, and they go out of their way to do it. I've seen it all on YouTube. And I've been amazed at how much effort a person takes to go out of their way to scam that person or be on the hustle. Even some of your big YouTubers, I think I can do this. Philip DeFranco, he's a very big guy. If you actually search on YouTube, you'll find in his older videos where he actually asked for money from people. He was actually begging when his channel was very small. And YouTube has gotten to the point to where literally I would say out of 10 videos, I would say out of 10 people doing YouTube videos, 8 of them are begging for money. It's ridiculous. Now, I'm sure YouTube's going to come down on it one day. I'm sure they're going to do something. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't really believe the majority of them are trying to be your friend. So don't fall for that. Really don't. And if you're tight on cash, if you're living on disability or whatever, don't give them your money. Please. Save it for your own food. Don't be fooled. Really, don't be fooled. And you have to also think, how are you helping somebody by giving them money? I mean, look at the whole picture. Let's say I uploaded a video and I said, hey, I'm hungry. I need money for food. How are you helping me? Let's say you gave me $100. You would help me for that 1 week maybe. But what about after that? What about a month from now? What about 2 weeks after that? Are you truly helping me? Unless you're going to pay every week or every other week, no, you're not helping me. The only way that's going to help anything with that person is they got to get out their ass and go get a job. That's it. And even if the person's on disability and you gave that person money, well, their life isn't going to change next month or even the month after. Every month is going to be a struggle. So that gesture's not doing anything to help them. And that's the sad part. I wish it was. I wish you could just hand somebody $500 and their life automatically changes. There's even a program they're running in California where they picked a bunch of people and they're handing them $500, free money a month, no questions asked, no strings attached, to see how they spend the money, to see if their quality of life changes. Did they spend it on drugs? Did they spend it on alcohol? And so far that program's going pretty good. But that is every single month. They didn't do it one time. And that's quite interesting. I've been keeping an eye on that program just to see how it goes and what it does, because I really believe we're going to get to the point where there's going to be a monthly check given by the government as AI and robots and everything continue. So it's quite interesting to see what people do with this free money. But I really believe e-begging and beggars is a real big epidemic on YouTube. And it's literally blowing up out of places like unbelievable. You know, in prepper communities, I seen one, and I was just sitting there giggling when I seen this. This one prepper said he needed a wood stove, and some woman came along and was his hero and gave him a nice chunk of change, and he got a wood stove. Not even 2 weeks later, all of a sudden he had a video saying he's looking to buy a new truck and put his sign his name because he's got good credit. I was just like, wow, I wonder how that woman feels now that she bought a wood stove and this guy's talking about buying a brand new truck. I'm like, these beggars don't think beyond their face, really. They really don't care about you. So don't allow them to take money from you. You know, Patreon can be a good thing if it's done right. I think a lot of people, when they went into Patreon, they just thought, oh, I just set up a Patreon and people give me money again. Here we go, free money. But there are people that do Patreons really well to where they give you something for your money, for value of your money. So, you know, there was one guy I seen, he was teaching art on a very small basis to 10 people, and he would even do live feeds with them and live hangouts, and he was given that one-on-one attention for that particular Patreon group. Well, they were getting something out of that. You know, that made sense to me. But then I see a lot of other people setting up Patreons, $1, $5, $10, and they're like, well, I'll upload my video ahead of time and you can see it 24 hours beforehand because, you know, I'm just the best guy in the world. And I just shook my head. Patreon is a nice tool if it's used properly. If it's used where you're getting something from it and it's worth paying. But just to give somebody $1 or $5 a month for no reason. Well, bottom line is that's begging. You didn't work for it. You know, that's it. So, you know, anytime anybody says, hit my super chat, which is the $ when they're running live hangouts, and a lot of people just want to get to the point of 1,000 subs to run live hangouts because they want that. It's all about the money. Oh, there was one guy, I think I watched him for a whole 20 minutes. He was running a live hangout. He was standing there playing a guitar, and he was like, come on, light up my super chat. Light it up. I'm like, what? And people played with him. I mean, some people gave him $1, some people gave him 50 cents, and I was just sitting there laughing when they were playing with him. And he got quite angry. He was like, how dare you? You're only giving me $1? Well, that's useless. What am I supposed to do with that? This guy just gave you free money. And this guy's acting like, oh, that's not, I need $100. Just like, wow. But basically, the people that are giving away the money for free and they're giving large amounts to these people, they are creating these other YouTubers that are coming out. And like I said, if somebody all of a sudden gets $5,000 for a van and somebody needs a van, they're going to be looking and go, well, that's how I get it. I don't go to work for a living. That's how I get it right there. So if you're one of those people that are giving away money, and literally you are part of the problem. You are creating more beggars on YouTube. Even though you feel you're probably being a nice person. Now, it's not for me to tell you what to do with your money or anybody else. It's your money. You want to give it away? Give it away. You know, you believe you're doing something special? Hey. But I don't think you're fully aware that you've been scammed. I don't think you're aware that they create this persona like me right here talking to you right now is making you believe you're my friend, and I create this ambiance around it for you to give them the money. The whole thing is a hustle, and you're falling for it. And that's the sad part. So what do you guys think about this e-begging? Do you actually give people money? Do you help these people out when they say they need it? Maybe they don't. Do you really, or do you say, no, I don't give any money at all? Myself, I don't give a dime to anybody on YouTube. If I was to give money to anybody, like I said, I would go to my kids first. It would go down to neighbors, and I would go down to my power company or even the local Humane Society here, that no-kill shelter we have. It's not a Humane Society, it's a no-kill shelter. And she's always on Facebook, always asking for dog food and stuff like that. I'd rather give my money to her. At least I know it's helping a poor dog, a poor innocent animal that had no choice. Anyhow, let me know in the comments section. I'd really like your thoughts on this. I mean, does e-begging really irk you? Does it really bother you? Or do you think it's a good thing? Do you think the way YouTube's going is a good thing with it? Because it's looking like we all need to turn into e-beggars, because I'm telling you, 8 out of 10 channels are beggars now. That's all it is on YouTube. It's really getting pretty sad. Anyhow, I'll catch you guys on the next one.